Brian Armstrong, the Coinbase CEO, has decided he'll have to lead the charge toward clear regulation from the SEC. As other CEOs around him drop like flies, he's running out of other moguls to point to. Thanks for watching.
To the extent you still have concerns around the stablecoin industry, what would they be?
I mean, as broadly as a concept, I don't have concerns about it. There may be individual stablecoins which are better or worse. I mean, we actually recently delisted, BUSD as an example, and the reason we did that was, Paxos had gotten, who's the issuer of BUSD, had been kind of ordered to stop minting it. So we were concerned about liquidity issues for our customers. But we're always evaluating through our internal processes different stablecoins, different assets, and updating when we see new information that comes to light.
I'm curious about your own way of using stablecoins. Recently in the fourth quarter, it showed that, in your filings, it showed that USDC has doubled in your holdings prior to the quarter before. Why is that the case?
Well, okay, so USDC is growing quite a lot, and I think actually USDC is it's the best answer to a stablecoin in the United States, right? It's issued by Circle, which is a US-based company. We're in partnership with them, and we want to see that grow. It's also been a really nice source of subscription and services revenue for us, which is, in contrast to trading fees, which are quite volatile. We've seen in our Q4 earnings that our subscription and services revenue is now 47% of Coinbase's revenue, almost half. And so that's allowing us to build a more predictable business with a diversified set of revenue streams. So yeah, I'm quite bullish on USD Coin, and I feel like that's a good solution for the US.
Does that look a lot more like traditional banking?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, in traditional, there's many differences. In traditional banking, there's fractional reserve, they have banking licenses, there's capital requirements. Everything in USD Coin is backed 100%. There's no fractional reserve. So I think of USD Coin as a really important tool to help payments be more efficient globally. It's helping provide, access to, something like a bank account, but it could be self-custodial for many people around the world who don't have access to a stable currency. It can improve even, a lot of DeFi, which you mentioned at the beginning. The trading pairs are denominated in USD Coin. So these are all good things which are an important part of the ecosystem.
So let's move to the staking part of the business here, because you have been concerned, you've voiced concerns, you and your colleagues, about the SEC's definition of staking and how they've approached staking. Are you prepared to fight the SEC at any front if you need to when it comes to the staking world?
Yeah, so I mean, we recently saw there was a settlement with Kraken, that's another exchange out there, and they have what they called a staking product. It was kind of more of a yield product. But in Coinbase's case, our staking product is not a security. There's many differences. I mean, customers never turn over their assets to Coinbase, for instance. They're always in the customer's possession, and we're really just providing a service that passes through those coins to help them participate in staking, which is a decentralized protocol. So that's an important part of the crypto economy that we want to make sure that we ensure that that's out there. And we're prepared to defend that in court if we need to, but we're never looking for a fight. We want to work collaboratively with regulators all over the world, but we have to follow rule of law, and in this case, I think we're well within the law.
We're well aware that regulation isn't coming tomorrow. But what do the big wigs need to get the ball rolling so we can move on with our lives?
Given the stance the SEC has been taking regarding defining certain assets as securities, is there anything that you think will need to get to that point? Mm-hmm.
Well, the SEC has expressed their view about what is a security, and they've taken kind of an expansive view of that. Coinbase, we've evaluated over 1,000 different assets, and as I mentioned earlier, 800 of them we've rejected, and we do think they have some properties of being a security, so we don't trade those today. Another 200 or so of them we do trade today, and we feel that those are commodities. So, look, I think as a CEO, we want to basically just have a clear rule book, right? And if clear rules are published, we're happy to follow it, and if those rules change, we're happy to follow those. But I think when we became a public company, we explained to the SEC in our S1 filing and in dozens of meetings that we've had with the SEC. I think we work pretty collaboratively with them. We've explained our business to them many times, including in our S1, and they approved us to become a public company. So we'll continue working with regulators all over the world about where the boundaries are on what's a commodity, what's a security, or what is something else.
Resetting once more for our Bloomberg radio and television audiences, in conversation with Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. We're talking about the SEC and state regulators as well. In regulatory filings, you've noted that you've received investigative subpoenas from the SEC and state regulators. How and when do you get those resolved?
Yeah, well, subpoenas are really just requests for information, right? And so we're in dialogue with regulators, not only here in the US at the state and federal level, but really around the world. I mean, we're in European markets and, in Singapore and in Australia, et cetera, Canada, many different markets around the world. So I think subpoenas are an important part of the process. That's them asking us a question and saying, we'd like more information on this, and we're happy to do that.
It sounds like there was a tension between the SEC and the industry before. It sounds like some of those tensions have boiled up after FTX. I'm wondering if you think that the conversations between Coinbase and the SEC in particular have gotten more or less contentious over the years.
I think we have a good relationship with the SEC commissioners and staff, and I've met with the chair as well, and so we're going to continue to invest in those relationships. I would like us to find a way to bring crypto. I think this is what they want too. Our interests are aligned. We want to bring this industry within the regulatory perimeter so that we have good consumer protection, but we also preserve the innovation potential of this. And as I said earlier, 80% of Americans want the financial system to be updated, and this is the most important technology I'm aware of that can help do that.
So you and your colleagues have also voiced a lot of concerns. Today you voiced concerns about kind of more of the crypto industry moving offshore. Draw us a picture here of what happens in 5, 10, 20 years if the digital asset landscape exists mostly outside of the United States.
Yeah.
In exchanges that are not based here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think that would be a terrible mistake for the United States. I mean, look at what's happening with AI, right? That's an important technology trend where it's becoming a matter of national security, right? That some of these things are built in the US. Or we saw it in the past with 5G or with semiconductors. And so if we have this really powerful technology, cryptocurrency, that has the potential to update the financial system and improve it in so many ways, how can we sit on the sidelines in America and say, oh, okay, well, we're going to let the EU pass comprehensive legislation, and so it'll be built there, and we're going to let the UAE and London and Singapore and Hong Kong. I mean, this is America. We need to be a technology hub. We need to be a financial hub, and the future of this industry needs to be built right here in America.
Do you think the SEC will give Bryant of Coinbase the time of day? Let us know in the comments.